Some startups go up, others go down. Welcome to GeekWire's elevator pitch, where 3 entrepreneurs pitch their businesses in the 48 seconds it takes to get to the top of Seattle's first skyscraper, the Smith Tower. Over the course of 9 episodes, we'll narrow the field from 27 entrepreneurs to 1 winner. In this episode of Elevator Pitch, presented by Smartsheet, we'll hear from 3 startup founders as they pitch their emerging businesses to our panel of leading investors and entrepreneurs. Stephen Branstetter, an angel investor and vice president at Smartsheet. He caught the entrepreneurial bug in college and sold his first startup to Active Network. Heather Redman, power broker and former Getty Images executive, who cuts deals as the managing director of venture capital firm Flying Fish Partners. Richard Tait, the motorcycle-riding Scotsman and mastermind behind the hit board game Cranium, who now stirs up new ideas inside Starbucks. The clock is ticking. Jump on board and ride with us on the elevator pitch and find out which entrepreneur has what it takes to make it to the top.
I'm Laura Clise, founder and CEO of Intentionalist.
Welcome to Smith Tower.
People care about their communities and want to spend to support them. On Small Business Saturday in 2017, consumers spent $12.9 billion. But what if Small Business Saturday is thinking too small? Last year, for Black History Month, my wife and I dined out at Black-owned businesses throughout Seattle. But this led to hours of research, and I knew there had to be a better way. Intentionalist is an online platform that closes the gap between local businesses and the people who care about them. We make it easy for you to find and support the small businesses that keep our communities vibrant and diverse. It all starts with everyday decisions about where we eat, drink, and shop.
How do you build a catalog and determine which areas of business you're going to highlight?
So to start with, we made a couple of decisions. Because one of the big picture problems that we're trying to address is the opportunity for consumers to reduce income inequality through the money that we already spend, we wanted to focus on consumer-facing brick-and-mortar small businesses. Now, what we discovered when we went out to collect the data is that there isn't an existing data set when it comes to identifying not just the what, but the who behind it. And so what we've been putting together is the largest integrated aggregate resource for consumer-facing brick-and-mortar, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, LGBT-owned businesses, family-owned businesses, and disability-owned businesses.
And across which categories? Are you looking at dining? Are you looking at...
So, dining, coffee shops, gyms. If it's a place that you or I would go and make a purchase as a consumer, and it has a brick and mortar presence, then it's potentially on the list.
How many businesses do you have in the catalog today?
We have 900 so far. We incorporated last December and literally started by hitting the pavement. I guess pounding it both in reality as well as virtually. And what we found was that there was a lot of research that we could do online, and that what we did was we followed that by initiating partnerships with community-based organizations and other nonprofits, people who are a part of the system and network of stakeholders that care about buying local, that care about trying to bring about a more inclusive economy.
How do you see scaling that when you get into new cities so that you don't have to go door to door?
So we're already finding success in that regard. What we had a hunch about was that initially we needed to get a core number of businesses onto the platform so that it would be relevant and useful for more than just, a one and done kind of experience. What we've already started to see is that on the one hand, users themselves are suggesting businesses. Everybody from somebody like yourself could suggest your favorite local dry cleaner. In addition to that, business owners are nominating themselves and populating our platform with information. And then the third source that we're finding our community-based nonprofit organizations, and also the nonprofit consumer development financial institutions who are providing technical and financial assistance, but are thrilled that a prospective partner has come on the scene to help those businesses when it comes to marketing and communications.
So what's the business model? Because I see in a Yelp type experience, there are advertisers who pay to be at the top of a search, but I would think that sort of competes with exactly what you're trying to accomplish.
With our mission.
With your mission.
So I would say that the biggest differentiator between Intentionalist and really any of the big players out there is trust. And what we're finding is that small businesses are willing to spend in support of marketing and communications, but there's a real trust deficit because these small businesses are being barraged on the daily by folks who kind of seem like they just want to make a buck off their backs. By starting not with a sales pitch to them, but by learning about who they are, why they are, what their pain points are, we've been able to establish a basic level of trust that makes us a preferred partner when it comes to telling their story.
So how do you make money?
Ultimately, we're going to make money through the value that we create for these small businesses. What we're finding are a couple of exciting things. Number one, we're helping them to compete on the basis of what we think is an under-leveraged area of competitive advantage. Who they are, why they are, what their story is. We're helping to tell it. And then secondly, what we're in the process of validating from a more data-intensive perspective is that our users aren't just people who are looking for a cup of coffee. They're both looking for a cup of coffee and looking for a way to strengthen their community. They're interested in the who behind the what. And what that means is that they're a stickier consumer. And small businesses are willing to pay for that.
So I totally get the mission, but I wasn't hearing an understanding of how they could support that with any type of revenue model.
Yeah, and I think what she's planning on, reading between the lines, is some sort of a listing fee. You know, once you aggregate enough consumers who care about this issue and want to have a catalog to shop from, then you could probably charge with that trust element that she's saying, some sort of a listing fee without, sort of violating your basic premise of bubbling people up to the top who are paying more, which of course is the model that we've all seen and had tension with Yelp and TripAdvisor and all the rest of them.
Do I need another search engine in my life? Right. I totally applaud the mission, and I actually want that perspective as I look for businesses to conduct commerce with. But do I not trust Google? Do I not trust TripAdvisor?
It feels like a feature to be added to a Yelp.
Right, completely. I think we've seen vegan friendly, family friendly. We've seen all of these new attributes be added on to various search and catalog entries, and I think this will be the next thing.
Yeah, I totally applaud the mission. I'm just not. I wasn't convinced as a standalone business. And also, in terms of building out that catalog with only 900 businesses, if I go to the search engine and I don't find what I'm looking for, do I build that trust?
Yeah, no, and I think there have got to be some better answers to the scalability issue of building the catalog. Crowdsourcing or whatever has to be possible.